Hello again. Alright, so we're back in Ul'dah, and let's see, Ruby Road Exchange, I think is where we'd like to go. We need to go see Momodi, the counterpart to Baderon and Mother Mion. Check out this dragoon over here. Okay, so that's just the worm set, huh? That used to be that glamour they're wearing. It used to be a the dragoon's second artifact armor, and you had to spend tomestones of mythology to get it, and you were only allowed to get 300 of those a week, so it took a while. Into a copper hell, huh? Papa Shan! Better pizza, better ingredients. Papa Shan's. Oh, wait a minute. I guess it could be Papa Shane, but, or Papa Shan, but, I'm gonna say Papa Shan. Dynasty, huh? 300 years, huh? Hekato... Hecton Cares, huh? Sounds like something out of Greek mythology. Thagis Pill Trot? Yikes. Okay, let's see. Painted Mesa, huh? I guess we could just warp there, huh? I think. Wait. Where's Painted Mesa? Oh, he was like right next to me and I... Whoop, derp. Maybe I am the main character after all. Playbase does like to call the promotional material Warrior of Light the Derplander. So they knew about these giants beforehand, huh? How did the giants stay alive underground for so long? Like, what are they eating down there? Oh, excuse me. Copper Bell Mines is over near Horizon. Since we went to the trouble of getting all these aetherites, might as well go get it, right? Or, well, use them, right? So. I think when I get to level 25 or so, or maybe 26, that's when I'll go back and handle the some more of the Lancer Guild things. Although, honestly, since you don't get any actions beyond Piercing Talon out of the guild itself, you could just keep going till 30. There's a very good reason you'd want to go at 30 and finish up your guild quest, and that's because that's when you'll once you've done your guild quests, you'll be able to unlock the proper job, like Lancer turns into Dragoon, Gladiator into Paladin, etc. Yep, everyone's been on and on about the giants. I got it. Okay, so look, we've unlocked Duty Roulette leveling. And I think that could take us directly into Copper Bell, but we might as well just queue for Copper Bell directly, because there's a chance that the roulette could throw us into Tom Tara or Saztasha instead. So, as far as roulettes go, it's anything you have unlocked normally. Oh, I've been sent a free company invite. Let's check them out, huh? John Wick, Homeworld. There is no try, there is only do or die. They've got a house. The house is in the Goblet. Let's see. They've got 28 members with 2 online. Purple unicorn, huh? Yeah, you know, whatever. Maybe they'll have buffs. And they do. They have Heat of Battle. That's the XP buff. So that'll be useful. Must be somebody's alt, Purple Unicorn. They must have seen me while they were mining. Something I almost constantly forget is how close Thanalin is to Limsa Lominsa. And you'd think I wouldn't forget, what with the ferry docks having been locked up as a restriction. But you can go directly from Limsa Lominsa straight, from the Limsa Lominsa lower decks straight into Western Thanalan. By way of the ferry, once you've been around. So, you know. I wonder what quest she's got locked up on me. Oh. She can teach you how to craft them, huh? Braving new depths, going for gold. Sometimes it's interesting to look at quests that are red and off limits to you currently, just because you sort of get to see, you know, where you're going. Or like what's next on the menu, you know? Please be advised that this is private property. Unless you have pertinent business here, I must ask you to leave. Okay. Remember that, I almost called her a Taru. Remember that Lalafell for later. And now that we've been everywhere, the ferry is no longer restricted. What's interesting is I'm pretty sure it's this same ferry you take if you start in Limsa Lominsa. instead of riding a wagon in a town, you're in a ferry. And so although theoretically, it could be a ferry from somewhere else. What with this ocean being open and big and whatnot. Must have a pretty deep harbor. Oh, you know what? Might as well grab some aetherytes on our way back to Jandena Lane. Brunhilde seems like a pretty friendly place, honestly. Of course, it's easy to jaundice your opinion one way or the other in an MMO. Sometimes you just luck out, and other times you have a string of bad luck for so long that it just feels like that's the way the game always is. Sometimes that has to do with your play times. Other times it has to do with what server or data center you're on. Other times it has to do with what kind of person you yourself are. A lot of people are a lot more asocial than they want to admit. Not even just antisocial, you know, just asocial. They don't want to participate in it at all. They hate it, but they want to play the MMO because it looks cool and they like the story, which makes for interesting situations with anxiety and argumentativeness. And there's some people who play this game and they patiently wait until the level cap raises and then they solo their way through everything. It's really strange, but and also a very small minority, but they're there. They are there. Of course, in Shadowbringers they added in a mechanic called trusts, and in the Shadowbringers dungeons you can take in NPCs with you, and they're not as good as players can be. Like the potential of a trust party is like, I think like a 25-minute run or something like that of a dungeon, so you know, about average for players, whereas you know, like a really good group of players, like I said before, is like 12 to 15 minutes, like if you're just going for speed anyway. I mean, speed is not the be-all, end-all. There's nothing wrong with going slow through a dungeon. I mean, there's been plenty of times where, like, a healer will disconnect and the rest of the party doesn't want to wait, so they'll say, hey, let's just take it slow. And then you take it slow, like one little group of monsters at a time. And then you wait to heal back up, then you take the next little group of monsters. You just sort of slowly feel your way through until either the healer comes back or until you decide to get a new one. The light returns to my eyes. Power courses through my fingers. I live! He looks fabulous. Begone, foul demon. Why did she stick around? Oh. I may have set my dogs off by being overly dramatic about the cutscene here. I'll need to go check on them, I think. So we can get a haircut anytime we want. Oh, there's my cue. Please, cutscene, please. Seems legit. Got a bard, lancer, conjurer, and gladiator. Koblins, I guess? Like a cobalt, but with a Lin Koblin? Got a Highlander for a healer. It kind of looks like a big bad Link, huh? 24. We're back when the game was new. I think some people on YouTube they were really into it. They were really feeling it. And they started doing dungeon guides, and they felt like they needed to comment on every single like trash pack in the dungeon. They'd be like, "This is how you handle this trash pack," and it's just sort of like, that's a bit excessive. Then again, a whole let's play of this entire storyline is probably also a bit excessive, but I never said I was sane. Yeah, this place goes down pretty deep. Well, you know what? I'm not using food. I need to be using food. Okay, there we go. I've never looked at the ceiling in here. I got curious. Kaboom! This is a weird boss. It's basically a ton of Spriggans. Other shafts and stuff. I really don't know what their idea was with this boss. I think it's the strangest boss in the early game. I'm guessing maybe it's like some sort of weird holdover from 1.0. And maybe they didn't change the HP values to reflect faster action time? I don't know. If you let him get that cast off, he takes less damage. Doesn't really stop you from killing him, just slows the fight down by about 5 to 8 seconds or something. Plundered gauntlets. Combat will get more engaging the higher level we get. Sorry if these past couple videos and the next few videos are really boring from a visuals perspective. Boom. Now this boss doesn't really take damage, but it's a mechanical boss. The bomb will blow up, and it will cause the slime to split. Occasionally, a Spriggan should pop me in. You gotta split it, I think, 3 times before the sprites become vulnerable. Or slimes become vulnerable. Probably pretty surprising to someone completely new. Like, oh my god, my attacks do nothing! This is another boss you might be tempted, like if you're a mage or a range, to use the range limit break on when you get them down to the small slimes. But you can see they die so fast, like, it would be better on a normal trash pull. And now I think we've moved into being underneath northern Thanalan, honestly. How the rock all changes to blue, the stark blue. That screams that there's ceruleum in it. Which is what northern Thanalan's known for. The dungeons really do get more interesting as we go. I mean, they're all interesting in their own right. If they're not interesting from that bard's gone crazy. As you can tell, though, most dungeons, the party's quiet. Like, they might have some greetings, and then just because of how the game, you know, you have to press an attack option or a healing option or something every, 2 seconds. And if you're doing your off globals every, like, second and a half or whatever. Yeah, it's not really a battle system that is conducive to communicating while you're actively playing. Not saying that it's wrong to talk, it's just if you're talking, you're obviously slowing down the killing, which some people just can't wrap their head around. They're like, why would you want to go slower? And while I like going fast, it doesn't bother me if, like, oh no, we lost like 5 seconds because someone, had something they had to express, or, wanted to say, hey, slow down, or hey, I need to AFK for a second. Which, another thing is that since this is a cross-platform game, and many people play on PlayStation 4 like I do, they just don't get keyboards. They don't buy them. They don't think they need them. They don't have the money for them, or they just don't want them. So they can't really talk at all. And sometimes you'll get into a dungeon with 3 PlayStation 4 characters, and maybe none of them got keyboards. And it's just, that is a thing that happens. Now this is an interesting boss, because not only is it a giant golem, or gigas, but it sort of teaches you about the opposite of what you would think for additional monsters coming out. Because he does have ads that show up, reinforcements. The thing is, though, the reinforcements never stop once they start showing up. Like, no matter how many you kill, they never stop. So if you don't just kill the boss, then you eventually run out of steam. Like, you're just gonna, die from being overwhelmed. But with the increase in potencies and just the fact that, you know, it's a beginner dungeon. It's real easy, once again, to just tunnel the boss like you're supposed to on this particular instance and get it killed before you get overwhelmed. I need to put this limit break on my hotbar. Yeah, he must have been doing his daily roulette. Well, we've cleared the mines of the giants. Yeah, the tank did fine. Ooh. Poor Clyde. He's never gonna get any commendations. It's okay though. Commendations don't really do anything for you, other than I think the new mentor requirements to be a mentor is you gotta have like 1,500 or something like that, which is weird to me, but whatever. Square would really like to improve their mentor system, but you know, it's not really that the system is at fault. It's the player base, and that's how a lot of things in this game go. Like, the design is actually good, but the player base abuses it, and so like it doesn't really matter how it gets designed for the most part, unless the design is, you know, objectively bad. Like, I don't have an example, but I think though, not really sure where I'm at in the recording time, so we'll take the ferry back to, well no, actually I guess we'll just teleport. We'll teleport on back to Ul'dah, and I think I'll cut this episode short as well. Then I'll probably start the next one right away. I'm having a lot of fun just sort of commentating on my gameplay, even though it's basically just me talking to myself. It's nice to look at the fresh, or the old portions of the game with fresh eyes. Just see how things have changed so drastically. It's also just nice to go back and see details that you didn't notice before. Yeah, you know what? I think this is a good spot to stop. We got an instance battle coming. So, if you watch, or if you're watching, thanks. If you liked it, like and subscribe. There will be more. You can also check out my other videos. I got a couple Dark Souls Let's Plays for 1 and 2, and then I've got a ton of Final Fantasy XIV combat videos, like Rathalos Extreme Solo, and some dungeon solo things, and Savage from the last tier, and all that. But anyway, have a good day and stay safe. I'll see you next time.